Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I am Cynthia Perez, Director of Education at UTC. I will be the moderator for this webinar. On behalf of UTC, welcome and thank you for being part of this webinar offering Innovative GIS Technologies for Efficient Telecom Operations, sponsored by Netcoin Americas. Please note that attendees will be muted for the entirety of this workshop. However, you will certainly have an opportunity and encouraged to ask questions. We ask that you submit your questions through the Q&A function, not the chat function. The chat function will not be monitored for questions. Please note that the Q&A function is intended for webinar-related questions and content only. And finally, today's presenters, Eduardo Langrafi and Mas Barnes from Netcoin Americas, will present the webinar, followed by a brief Q&A session. Type your questions as you think of them, and we will answer as many as we can. Remember, use the Q&A function to submit your questions. I'm happy to introduce Eduardo Langrafi and Mas Barnes.
Thank you very much. So let me thank you very much, and great to be here with you all. And thank you, Mas, for being here with me as well.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to be doing the first part of this presentation. We're going to go through some slides, and I do have some very interesting software solutions to show you today. We're going to have some live demos of some of the tools that we normally offer to our customers. So I know time is a very valuable asset, so thanks again for sharing this opportunity to be here with us today. Let me, without further ado, share my screen, and then we get started. So I hope you can all see my monitor right now. So good afternoon again, and thanks for being here for this webinar where we're going to be talking about innovative GIS technologies for efficient telecom operations. I'm Eduardo Langrafi, and together with Mas Barnes, our head of engineering, we will discuss the challenges faced by utilities company for managing their telecommunications networks. How can low-code platforms and GIS technologies be applied to streamline business processes and bring more efficiency for the entire organization, resulting in faster deliveries, reduced OPEX and CAPEX costs, and ultimately higher profits. So I also want to thank our technological partners today, GIS and Esri, as we're going to be showing some of the solutions from these companies that our team has developed for our customers. So let's start by talking about the management lifecycle of telecommunications networks. So the networks are deployed following a sequence of stages that have particular requirements, activities, and they utilize different software solutions in order to be accomplished. So a proper management of the asset lifecycle is crucial for telecommunications networks that is enable companies to optimize their investments, reduce operational costs, improve network performance, and ensure regulatory compliance. So I'll start with the definition of the geographical area and project scope, which involves technologies such as fiber, copper, radio, as well as network protocols. We have GPON, DOCSIS, Metro Ethernet, MPLS, and others. So at this moment, the basic GIS system is needed. As you know, many organizations still rely on Google Earth at the moment. So not only Google Earth, but other data sources are also required at this stage in order to allow the study of the customer profile, social classes, average ticket, market analysis, and competitors. So existing databases such as ArcGIS portal and their libraries can help to facilitate the access to the statistical data required in this specific stage. Then we're going to go to the next step, which is the high-level design, and in which design automation platforms such as ConnectMaster and the Rapid Network Planner Builder and Designer will help to accomplish the initial design faster with better quality, providing map reports, bill of materials, cost structures for materials and installation services. So in this stage, a field survey is also required in most cases. So the ability to apply smart web application is also recommended. And in this webinar, we're going to be showing the ConnectMaster online solution that will be also presented going forward here. So Once the business plan is approved, the detailed design is required, which is when we start actually building the physical and the logical network inventory database. So at this moment, this integrated view of the inside plant and outside plant components and resources is really very important to produce accurate construction reports. This is when we can also use 2D and 3D digital twins to help allowing like remote site surveys and actually extending the view of the real world for a better decision-making process. So then comes network construction, which encompasses a lot of logistics for like purchasing material, dispatching equipment, defining contractors, handling permittings with governmental agencies. So, and ultimately producing all the construction documents required by the staff for a high quality construction and network deployment. This is really a key stage where we have to focus in order to optimize costs, as we're going to be seeing in our next slide. So, and this is also the stage that the as-built records will be created. Then,
And with
of
this,
course,
Eduardo, I was going to
yes,
also point out that in what we're bringing to the table is a single point of data. In many
exactly.
cases, companies try to provide that, but what happens is, even if they do, then to use the data, they have multiple sources outside of their application. Connect Master not only provides you that single source, but the tools so that it's all really in one place.
Yeah, Mass, that's exactly what we're going to be showing here. This is our approach on how to handle all these different stages and have this really integrated view for physical and logical assets in this webinar. Yeah, thanks, Mass. So then acceptance tests, right? We got to ensure that the network quality is proper, and also we are meeting any regulatory compliance state requirements at this moment. So then we're going to go for the next step, which is when we release the network for CRM, and then it's time then now to start selling the resources, whether to internal or external customers, right? So some utilities, they don't have external customers, but the internal customers, such as departments that are being served by the telecommunication services, is what we are talking about here. So, and at this moment, APIs, web applications, and integration with CRM systems are commonly used to handle sales feasibility, reservation processes, and also we integrate with NMS platforms to take care of the activation and provisioning process. So although we consolidate all the inventory in Connect Master platform, also we have to interface with other solutions that are part of this OSS and BSS ecosystem, as we're going to be showing here going forward in this webinar. So the last stage is the network assets and services are handled to the maintenance team, who will be responsible for corrective and preventive maintenance processes, which are normally supported via help desk platforms. In this webinar, we will also show the importance of GIS technologies to reduce maintenance costs and increase the asset lifetime. So let's keep going. This is a real quick one, so we can go straight to the video and more interesting part of this demo. But it's very important to also consider costs and how the cost is distributed among the different stages and the assets involved in a project in order to give us visibility on where to focus our efforts on reviewing the process and tools that will support all these stages right here. So for instance, we can see right here that network's construction stage takes the majority of the capex and overall project cost, and thus offer us a great opportunity for improvements and enhancements. As we're going to be focused in this specific activity here, the network construction, and we're going to be showing you this fully integrated platform for inside plant, outside plant, and network records that will provide this smart and digital communication among planning, construction, commissioning, and the go-live stages of your network. So another important aspect that we also have to take into this equation when tackling the problem of optimizing business processes and tools is that the network is built in multiple layers, right? So each layer is responsible to accomplish specific tasks for the network services to function properly. So there is the physical layer, also known as layer one of the OSI standard model. So the physical layers includes both inside plant and outside plant resources that will be built. And on top of this physical layer, there will be the different network protocols that will be applied depending on the network specifications, such as the architecture, the coverage, the capillarity, capacity, or the numbers of customers that will be serviced. So that will all, those factors will all impact in what specific technologies you're going to be using in your network deployment. So different technologies can be used depending on network layers and discussions, where we have the access network providing regional interconnections with high capillarity. We have high capacity metropolitan interconnection at the distribution layers, and then the transport backbone. Normally we use WDM systems, OTN system at this layer, and this is the one responsible for long distance and high capacity interconnections. So in our experience, we have seen that many utilities still rely on legacy TDM systems such as SONET technology, and in many cases, these systems are being modernized nowadays to MPLS-based networks. So the Ethernet protocol, also including the Metro Ethernet services, GPON, OTN, are examples of network protocols largely used by the telecommunications industry that also needs to be considered when defining your inventory and asset management platform. So, but it's quite complex, in fact. So manage this complex landscape, it's a hard task to be accomplished, as many of you with us today already know. So the different platforms required for the network management were basically standardized by the ITU, International Telecommunication Union, in 1997. So we have this NE layer, where it's basically the network element with the hardware and firmware. Then there is the EMS, which is element management system layer. That is basically a software component that's going to be responsible to configure the network elements, like a local craft terminal that you can connect using USB or serial or Ethernet connection. Then comes the network management layers that most of you are very familiar with for doing provisioning, having this entire network visibility and interconnection between the NEs. So this is when the problem of having this holistic view of the network begins, because each one of those network protocols mentioned in the previous slide usually have their own NMS and EMS. So you basically have a scenario like this, where you have a access GPON network being managed by one NMS. You may have different Ethernet IP systems being managed by another NMS or another EMS, and you have your transport layers being managed. So by another NMS, which can be like WDM, OTN. So the challenge addressed in this webinar today is how to efficiently establish this OSS and BSS layer. And OSS stands for Operational Support Systems, to consolidate these key pieces of information managed by the NMS and provide this integrated, centralized, and most importantly, end-to-end view of the network site services throughout all the different layers, protocols, and elements, whether they are physical or logical elements. So the goal of this OSS platform will be really managing and optimizing network operations, services, and their resources, and provide information to those BSS, which stands for Business Support System, which is directly related to the business needs. So here's some examples of the most common OSS and BSS platforms used in the market. We have CRM here, like Salesforce, order management, NetSuite, for instance, billing management, accounting, asset management. This is in the BSS domain. But also we have the OSS domains right here: network management, incident management, like help desk, trouble tickets, like ServiceNow. So those are examples of systems that we have integrated along the past time for our customers. So why it's important then to have this centralized approach? Why can't I just leave everything in different NMSs, right? So this is where we are bringing you the reason for what we are actually meant to be talking about here in this webinar. So here are some important information that we obtained from the MuleSoft article that clearly defines the importance of this single source of truth approach for companies as a real like digital transformation trend nowadays. So some companies are still struggling with network data distributed among no integrated platforms. So there are like AutoCAD files, spreadsheets, Google Earth, and other systems of records, which make really very difficult to manage and control records updates, as well as define optimized process. So it's even difficult to think about process when you have a situation like this. So like you can see here, 81% of companies don't have a solid data strategy to maximize the full potential of their data. And a similar number don't have the right platform to support their goals, which is the platform we are bringing to you here today. So also in modern enterprise, there are many sources of information, like I said before. So organizations look for a single source of truth where decision makers can get the right data in the right context at the right time. And this is really a recent article. So that's when we also introduced the API-driven connectivity that can result in 3 times faster delivery and 63 times reduction in maintenance costs. So just some examples here on why this centralized GIS-based inventory is really, really important. So, and furthermore, to support this, I'm bringing here some additional facts for you that I also stated to support this idea that we are bringing here today. So, a single source of truth, it's important for data-driven business because it ensures that all stakeholders have access to accurate and consistent data, so which leads to better decision-making and improving business outcomes at the end, which is what we are all looking for. So in practical terms, we can see here that more than 30% of data-driven companies experience annual growth. So we want your company also to benefit from being data-driven. And just so you can see how problematic the situation is, 89% of companies mention that data silos are the major obstacle to the digital transformation. So this is why we are bringing this approach here based on Connect Master. Beth, you want to support me with some?
Yes, what I was going to
ideas?
say is part of what we do at NetCon is helping our customers get past this barrier to entry. And the barrier to entry is that they have all these disparate sources of data. And our team of engineers and professional service experts get along and come along and helps the customer. We've had customers give us pictures of network that we then have to turn into digital data. So we go and get all these disparate pieces of data, spreadsheets, pictures, CAD drawings, and we bring it all together as that single source of truth. And we're here to help. So it's not that big a barrier for you alone to tackle when you do have us.
Yeah, very good, Matt. Thanks. And then what Matt is actually saying, our approach is having this centralized view, GIS-centric system, which we call Connect Master. So Connect Master is developed by our partner VertiGIS. It's a quite comprehensive system of records and OSS inventory platform for telecommunications network that effectively manages all network resources inside plant, outside plant. But most importantly, it's not only concerned about the physical inventory. So that's the key differentiating point of Connect Master. We also care about the logical layers. So we have this full picture from layer 1 to layer 3 of the OSI model on a single pane of glass at your fingertip. So that's the goal for our approach here. So there is also a modular approach in Connect Master. So it's different modules distributed in different categories, which also enables companies to deploy the solution in kind of a gradual manner. So for instance, you can start with the physical modules to document network infrastructure and then add the logical modules in the second step. So that's all depending on how you want to plan your deployment. So and this will allow you this efficiency in the allocation of CapEx and OpEx for the system implementation, right? So we have this generic documentation, then generic administration right here, followed by advanced modules to produce network schematics. So you can have splice plans, fiber plans, rack elevation drawings. And also we have embedded GIS professional platform that will give you a detailed view of all the network assets, including infrastructure and network services. So this modular design, just so you know, it's also structured based on the different stages that we saw in the previous slide. So we have specific modules for the design and engineering phase of the network, and then construction, there is specific modules in operations. And lastly, for integration, we do have a variety of APIs. We have the REST API, the SOAP API, the SDK API that will even allow you to further customize the software graphical user interface. So, but now let's stop just talking about this and bring you some example. Actually, not now, in the next one. So let's keep going. So when looking at this telecommunication landscape right here, mixing all different system platforms and stages of this life cycle, we can come with this model that has these two main domains. We have inventory management and the service management, where inventory management takes care of the network devices, including all these passive and active devices. Like you can see here, buildings, containers, rooms, cabinets, poles, manholes. Where you have the active networks, we got the Ethernet, MPLS, Sonnet multiplexers, just as an example of things that are there. And then there is the service domain. Here is the service domain is consisted of this logical circuit services, which are normally managed throughout NMS, OSS, and BSS solutions, like you can see right here. So the purpose of Connect Master, and this is quite important that you know, we are not intending to replace the NMS, but rather actively talk with them using APIs and data synchronization engine module to ensure this DSE module that I'm showing here, just to ensure that Connect Master data is properly updated on a daily basis or whenever that update is needed. And also not only to bring information from LMS inside Connect Master, but also to provide the information from the infrastructure and services layers that reside in Connect Master to others OSS and BSS systems that will need to consume this information using those three different types of APIs that I just mentioned. So and there is also the GIS portion of it, which we can support integrations having Geo API, UT integrator, and a variety of other methods that are available, to be honest, not only these two here. So now, yes, this is when we start seeing this in like a live action. This is the Connect Master software. Basically here, we're going to see an example on how Connect Master can help your company with this end-to-end overview from the network planning. So right now we are creating a project, and I'm showing here how you create, like first, let's create a project template, right? Which is, you may have different types of projects. So it can be inside plant activities, outside plant activities. So but basically here, I'm creating like a basic plan for how I want this project to be. And I can define what are the users that are responsible for doing actions in each one of the project stages, who can approve one stage to move to another. So this is how we like create first this project template in Connect Master. We first define the stages like we have right here, and then underneath right now, we are creating the transitions. So who can do transition? So whenever there is a transition, an email gets triggered to the next person. So now we have the template. We're going to create the project right now, okay? So I'm now entering into this new project. So as you can see, we got the project scheduler automatically created. So I can move it from stage one to the design stage. So now we're going to start designing our network. So let's say I want to connect these homes right here. So we are just like creating the homes I want to connect. And this is actually using level 1 of design automation that Connect Master offers, which is the rapid network planner builder, because we also have designers. So the difference is that the builder is more used for the access networks as and the designer will actually take care of the whole different areas of the network, like the feeder cable, distribution cable, access cable. So it does like complete fiber to the home project in just a very few minutes. So like 500 houses designed in less than 5 minutes. That's what the designer does. But here, like you can see, I'm just selecting the homes I want to connect in this example. So I'm zooming in. I can say, so this home 27, 21, I can branch it out from the same handhold. So I don't need like to install new handholds. So once I select the site, I say connect master, find all the materials. It finds the material and I execute, and connect master creates the whole project for me automatically, like you can see here. So it's obviously this was done using design automation. So you might want to do some adjustments, like change a position for a handhold. It's that this is all possible, and while you do that, you are actually updating the bill of materials. So what Connect Master did, it built all components for inside plant at each one of the buildings and connected them. So this kind of work, you don't need to do it anymore. So like this is all the bill of material, the project cost, the operational costs, which are the installation services, the detailed BOM, which you can also save as an Excel spreadsheet. So it was all done in a few minutes. You create the region, you create your project, and now comes the interesting part. So I'm sending it to the construction. So I finished, I sent to design approval, it was approval. So now I'm sending to the construction. So I can assign who is the contractor, who's responsible for doing this. I can add instructions to be read by the field team. I can also add more information in document. And then this is the guy that is outside now at the construction site, and he can search for the project assigned to him, if he can go to a specific project and really see the instructions, all the components involved in this project. So this is Connect Master Online in a tablet. So I really want to show here what is the sensation of being in the field and managing project. Like I'm right now starting the project, so I can change the project status. Or I'm right here and I see that the company Netcon is responsible for doing the project, and the property engineer is going to be Mr. Barnes, for instance. And so those are things that you can control and change from the field using our web interface. You can also go to one specific site, see what components you have to install. You can see it on the map. You can also handle layers, so you can remove objects you don't want to see. There is a huge variety of different diagrams that you can create here. It's really nice. Like this yellow one here is the customer 27 that we selected. Very useful also for field survey. So for instance, right now we are saying, please review street number. I can say this is where the manhole should be actually, and I'm gonna go ahead and there is this also coordinates option, which is pretty cool. And right now I can say, okay, I'm gonna measure just so I can also put that in my redlining message, and now I can copy this to clipboard and send it to the field, to the desktop engineers using the regular Connect Master Online. So the other piece that Connect Master Online is not meant for you to be editing properties, but also will allow you to really change the network whenever it's needed. So like in this example, I'm finishing the work, so I'm saying who is responsible, what's the serial number, so I can do the reconciliation with what was exactly deploying that exactly area of the network, so we know exactly the serial numbers. If I need to create a new component and connect this new component, it's all possible and supported in this application. So Like right now, I'm putting a new cassette. I can now connect the cassette. And let's say I finish my project. That's the goal here. So I finished the installation. So what I'm gonna do now is just send a message to my superior. Say I can use it using the phone camera or the tablet camera. This is the example. See the installed final equipment. So it sends for approval and for the commissioning. So now it's moving the project. It finished the construction and it moved it to the commissioning stage. So at Connect Master Desktop, immediately you see that. You can see also the that specific message. So it comes in as an event. So all engineers are immediately receiving the message that are addressed to them from the field team. They using Connect Master Online. You can be using Connect Master Online or also this. So at the end, the final process is, okay, we finished, we commissioned the network, and now I just want to merge this to my operational network. And that's the final goal. And this is, so now that new network was delivered to operations for the NOC team, the operational team to start using it. So this was a full overview of Connect Master doing from the beginning, design, handling constructions, and ultimately delivering the network for our maintenance team. So we have more videos now to show, because now I'm going to say, okay, I've got Connect Master here, but how do I further extend its capabilities using APIs to connect to the other systems? So that's what we're going to be talking about now here. So like we could see, Connect Master accomplished a lot in just a few minutes. However, like all this massive data that resides in Connect Master needs to be made available to these other OSS and BSS systems to enable this digital transformation, right? So some examples of systems we have done for our customers include Salesforce, NetSuite, SAP, ServiceNow, many other platforms actually were already connected into Connect Master. So the idea here is the Connect Master really being the link among these various systems to allow this quick integration and better efficiency in your processes, right? So this will help you to perform also your daily activities faster and with better quality. That's the ultimate goal of all this. So, okay, now that I know the tool that I want to use, how do I actually think about my processes, right? And how can I model my internal process based on industry's best practice? So for this, we have this ITIL reference model, which provides this bottom-up support-driven perspective, and it's used to align IT services with business needs, but without caring about the business processes, right? So that's why we have the ETOM framework from the Telemanagement Forum, which provides the other side of this with the business-driven perspective and structure the process into these three fundamental level zero processes, or what we call the ETOM domains: the strategy, infrastructure in product, operations, and enterprise, like you can see here. So NetCom has certified professionals like Matt said, on ETON as well. So we support the implementation of Connect Master when it comes to be mapping the to-be process after the tool has been adopted. So for instance, we use this order to deliver ETON flow to develop a TM forum compliant APIs for one of our largest customers in this neutral host business segment. So we will show some examples of this app in a few minutes here. So just so you know, there are frameworks that you can use to help you think about how you structure your processes and bring more efficiency to your company. So, okay, now that I'm done with the processes, with the tools, so how do I get started in developing my application? So it's time to work with systems integrations and the development of custom apps, right? That will implement those processes and make them reality in your company. So how can I do it in the fastest possible way? So we have these examples of applications developed using low-code platforms in this webinar. There are plenty of low-code systems on the market, like cloud-based low-code solutions can easily reach into Connect Master using APIs or SQL integration, right? And the whole idea of this low-code system is to speed up the implementation cycle for software that will support the processes and its continuous improvements going forward. So now, it also simplifies the coding process, right? The coding efforts by bringing this like drag and drop approach with easy configuration steps. So it's my like object oriented kind of a platform to be configured. So um, we're going to be showing you also in the next slide some of the low code platforms from our partner Esri. And just so you know, it will really speed up the process from the idea to the concept and allows business to maximize the benefits of this source of truth for all telecom related information. So like we can see here, some of the examples of tools that we have, and we have developed some of the applications, and I'm going to be showing you some of them in the next minutes. So these are out-of-the-shelf tools provided by Azure with great capabilities to flexibly adjust to your business requirements. Like for instance, ArcGIS dashboard, Power BI will produce great portals for allowing better decision making for the company executive level. So you can also create apps using ArcGIS instant apps, ArcGIS web app builder, experience builder. I have experience with this software. We're going to be showing some of the apps we have developed, configurable apps. So you see, these are all low codes out of the shelf systems that you can use. And they also have this kind of a few apps. On the right side here, it's easy to create a survey questionnaire with ArcGIS Survey 123, or manage construction works with ArcGIS Workforce, and support like site inspections using ArcGIS Collector and Field Maps. So that's a very handful set of tools that we can take advantage of to really be able to serve in this digital transformation era. So, and this is another application for a digital twin project that we developed for a very large power company in Brazil called Chess. So it's really not only the 3D model here that we have using the construction cloud, Autodesk Construction Cloud, but this digital twin is actually linked to a variety of different platforms. So when I click on an object, it triggers some Python bots that will talk to external systems, external relational databases, and it will bring the information immediately to you. So it really becomes a very important tool for allowing you to having like a centralized view of your power substation. It has quite cool features like this. You can really have an immersive experience, like you can walk into the substation as if you were there. And I'm going to show you one very interesting like feature you can do when you do this. Like you can do like a remote site survey. So like right now I'm walking towards like some towers or frame infrastructures. I'm more for the telecom sector, so forgive me for not knowing exactly the name of this, but let's say these two towers that I'm seeing right here, I want to like measure, right? So I can do it without going out in the field. I can just do it using this digital twin, taking advantage of that. So there is a lot of features like measuring, etc. So those are things that we've got here. So now I can also go into the list of components, search for a specific one, and say find this specific transmission box and give me more detail. What is the tag? What is the picture of it? So, and these are all information in very distant databases, and I can also see it in the diagram. So show me the substation diagram, and it's all in a single portal with even dashboard capabilities, like you can see here. So it's really interesting. So Netcone can help you to create the digital twin models, to integrate digital twin modules using Autodesk Construction Cloud, using the Esri ArcGIS online platform as well. So we are eager to work with you to support your business. So this is another example of a tool here that I have to bring to you. This is actually showing you the integration between ConnectMaster and the ArcGIS online software, and how you can have this digital twin model to see your telecommunication networks that you see here at the right side. And as you navigate on the 3D model, you are actually really seeing and seeing what is there. You can turn on, turn off layers as you zoom in, zoom out. Both maps are synchronized, like you can see here. You can also do those kind of measurements that we just did in the digital twin. Reset the view if you wanna. And Esri has this very cool tools that help you simulate weather conditions. So if it's raining, how hard it's raining. You can also set the shadow for a specific time of the day. You can see the snow, everything. Like set the shadow cast for like specific range or just a specific time of the day. Doing analysis like line of sight, where you can do measurements. For instance, I'm just showing something similar. We did it in the Autodesk Construction Cloud, but like doing measurements is fully supported also in the ArcGIS online software. So like this slide is quite interesting. So you can actually see the network or the buildings floor by floor as you move and drag that. And this is actually integrating different features from the Esri. So this is basically now the ArcGIS Survey 123. So you can actually create this survey, and then they can see graphics, information, KPIs, and also submit like reports, like you can see here. So the other one I want to bring into here is this one real quick, is the ConnectMaster CM Web Tools platform. We started developing this like 5 years ago. It provides full end-to-end sales feasibility in order to deliver e-tom flow on your phone. So right now, I need to sell internet. So customer is calling me. I see his address in the app. I can see where he is. I can see where my FATs are. I can click on the FAT like I'm gonna do it now and check if there is a availability. And if there is, I can immediately do the reservation. And this is actually going into ConnectMaster and updating the situation. So now I can activate the service, and this is triggering an API to the NMS that's gonna, based on what ConnectMaster is telling where that customer is, what OLT port it is connected to. So ConnectMaster provides the basis of information that will allow you to do this end-to-end process integrated by knowing exactly each fiber from the field, what chassis it's terminating at, and so you know which ports should be provisioned in the NMS platform. So it provides heat map, like you can see here, different view modes also, like you can see there. And that's the web tools. I just want to bring another one here, and this is from our partner VertiGIS, and they did it using Power Apps. So pretty much they can also, this is interesting that I'm bringing, because the other one was more for like a fiber to the home network approach, and this is for more like a point-to-point approach. So I have the customer address, and I click to see, find the closest central office, right, point of presence. And it shows me on the map. And it actually, this is all coming from ConnectMaster, because that information resides in ConnectMaster, right? You just publish on external app. So, so right now I'm gonna create a Metro VPLS service, enter the service name, and this HLD stands for a high-level design. So initiate the high-level design. And what happens now, it creates a project in ConnectMaster. So if you go into ConnectMaster now, you're gonna see that the project is there. So let me just try to speed this up a little bit. So say it gets a project name, version. This all came from the Connect Master software, because now if you go back to Connect Master, you're gonna see that a project was created for that specific demand, including the site location, the service type that needs to be provisioned. So now this is more like for a tailored solution where engineering team will now have to work on the cable. So and then it goes back to the project management side. So project is there. So like they're gonna show you here that if you open the map, let me see if I can speed up a little bit. So you see that's my customer site, and then you can now start designing. It's already created in here as well. So from the web portal, you manipulate all the information in Connect Master using APIs, like the service name that you gave in the app gets published in Connect Master. And plus it sends emails like, please start the project. Hi, engineering team, please start doing the project. So all of these can be configured like you can see also here. So Netcon develops its own apps, but GIS, our long-term partner, also has their own development. So we can have both solutions available for you right away. So now Massbar is going to talk a little bit about the implementation process with you, because thank you. Then go ahead, Mass. Let me stop my video here.
Yeah, it's worth to say too that a lot of what Eduardo just showed is actually in the field, customer implemented. Customers are using that, but it all comes from that single point, that single source of truth, single source of data. And one of the things we do is this service. We need our customers to have the easiest way to get into the product to be able to use the product. So the system architecture and requirements, our engineers are really experts, from the Oracle to some of the GIS tools. We, as I'd mentioned earlier, will grab data from spreadsheets, various spreadsheets, and sometimes we have to compare which one's the newest, which one's the truth. And from all this information, whether it's a picture, a CAD design where we could pull data or spreadsheets, we bring it all together. Not just the physical architecture that the engineers put together, but there's also the software, which is ConnectMaster in our case, and of course, some of the software which we are experienced with, again, Excel, some of the ArcGIS tools. And we configure the system. The system configuration is done by a few, I'm trying to get the right thing, workshops that we pull together. So we have a full stack of what we do, when we do, and we manage that in the project management area. So we tell the customer to start with, let's tell you what ConnectMaster is and what we could deliver in more cases than not through a proof of concept. They've already seen this. But then we move on to getting them to configure ConnectMaster in a way that sometimes mimics what they've done. So that way it's an easier transition for them, but it's also the opportunity for them to change what they've done. We've had customers who had spreadsheets to manage names. Well, we have auto naming. So we tell them how you want to use your auto name. Do you want to use the site? Do you want to use the equipment? And these workshops get together and we configure ConnectMaster for that particular customer. And the data conversion and migration, once it's configured, is where we then grab these various spreadsheets and other data and feed them into ConnectMaster. More workshops, we show the customer what that looks like. They make the adjustments. I could tell you we were a very patient group of engineers, meaning we don't try to rush you. If you as a customer feel that you've not done what you wanted, and when you now see it in ConnectMaster, you want to change, we've done that also over and over. We want to make sure that it's something that the customer is going to use. The NMS and the GIS, so we have a data synchronization engine. We've worked with quite a few products out there. We talk to that NMS. Most of these vendors, they have some proprietary NMS that you will have to own. We don't bring the NMS. but we talk to it and we match our data. So if the NMS is going to call a card by a series of numbers, 16/XY, or, you know, we then want to call it SFP. So the engineers know it's SFP, don't need to know the various nomenclatures. We match that up. NMS says we're doing this. We bring it back to plain English in Connect Master. The GIS integration, you've seen some of that. It's very good. We speak we speak to pretty much any of the GIS systems out there. Once we get all of that, part of that is the process. So before this, the process may have been to reach out to somebody who has one source of truth and make sure that they update it and get to someone else who's got the GIS drawings and they're managing the polls. And so now all of those systems comes together, your process changes. It becomes more efficient. And once we get all of that together, we've done this before where we call it train the trainer. Through all of these workshops and configuration processes that we're working with, the customer learns Connect Master, at least the ones that are working with us. But we also implement training. We've done 2-3 weeks worth of training on site and remote. Thank you very much for our lockdown, but now we're very good at doing remote training, so you could really get that 2-3 times easier than flying in a crew and bringing everybody from everywhere. But we do all kind of training, and we will retrain so that we know that you're using the product. Once everybody is good, part of the training is, now you know how it works, you accept it. And with the training, we produce training and acceptance tests. Customer runs through every single piece of the training, every piece of the workshop that we've done, so that all the users can see it. And it ties into the modules that you buy. We don't want to waste time showing you everything, just what you need. And as you purchase other modules, we'll come back and provide that training too. But then we have the acceptance test. Customer uses it, sees everything that's either in their RFP or that we've configured. They know what they're getting, and we go live. From the go live, that's where we trigger our help desk, and we still don't stop. If there's something you don't like and you bring it to us, you send it, we track it, we have our SLAs, we respond in a regular and consistent fashion. So that's our implementation process. So Eduardo, were you going to, or did you want me to say? So these are some of our customers, as you could see, quite a few customers over the years. Netcon's been in business for over 28 years. So we've been doing more and more in the United States. I'm looking and I'm seeing some of our wonderful customers, LCRA. I'm looking to see if my screen might be covering up my friends from Entity. Yeah.
Here, yeah.
Yep,
Burns,
Rocket
McDonald,
Fiber, yes. So we
Trillium
have quite a
Fiber.
few in the US. We have a team in the US, which is who I'm involved with, who does all of this. We use our backup team from other countries, including our partners. So the US has its own team, South America has a team. We meet pretty much on a regular basis. And then we have our partners, Verdi GIS, and I meet from an engineering standpoint and project management, Eduardo meets. So we're fully integrated in making sure that all our customers get what they're looking for.
Yeah, and Matt's just adding that we are right now expanding to Africa in 5 countries. So it's another continent that we are actually bringing Connect
Yes,
Master
are
into.
you going to say who it is? But yes, we did a proof of concept and they have accepted, and we are turning that up right now. One of the things that I think you may not have said was monitoring. So for that company, we started doing some fiber monitoring and some alarm systems. So that way they can get to the problem even before the customer reports it. By the time it's reported, hopefully it's already resolved.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. Actually, Connect Master is not only about inventory, but also fiber monitoring, equipment monitoring. You have all those monitoring capabilities also available.
Yes. Anybody there you wanted to? Oh, this is you, my friend.
All right. So just bringing some conclusions here. Let me turn on my camera. We can do this together, man. So basically, the conclusions of our session today. I don't see any questions at the moment. If you want to send us questions, I'm monitoring here in my second monitor. So basically, as part of the best practices for digital transformation, you got to evolve your IT systems, right? Using Connect Master and your networks, having a better visibility to take advantage of all these new technologies. Also, the cloud services to revolutionize management and operational processes, which is what we talked about here, right?
Yes.
We have seen also, Mass. I was involved in one training about artificial intelligence, and it's quite interesting that this is actually reality already. So whenever you can implement AI-driven autonomous operations, you should try to do it because it's going to really provide better automation and then really reduce costs where it needs to be reduced. So the third one here is really seeing all the different areas in the organization as a set of capabilities, right? It's this is really how you engineer like a tool, right? It's a combination of inputs and transformation happens and then outputs go. So you really need to see your company as a set of capabilities in order to be able to think about processes and how you're going to redesign your processes. It's really important that.
Yeah, we used to have a saying that if you're not moving, you're dead. So some people are afraid to take the leap and make a change, but technology is evolving and you need to evolve your business to take advantage of this before your competitors do.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why it's important to adopt this new mindset. So having commercial and technical DNA for success. We have seen this a lot in some companies that are thriving nowadays. So everybody in the company today needs to do a little bit of commercial, a little bit of technical. So
Mhm.
everybody in the company needs to know more about the business that they are in, right? It's quite important. Um, and then think about your company as part of this global industry to operate and compete at scale on this appropriate cost basis, right? Um, I was talking about managing construction in our demonstration today. So you have also to think about how you automate your partnership model, right? And Connect Master Online might be one of the good tools you can use because whenever you publish a project, he sees immediately what he needs to do in his tablet, and that project was assigned to him, and only him, the guy and his team can see the project. So this is quite important.
Mhm.
In lastly here, invest in the upskilling of existing workforce. I think this is really key, right? If you think training is expensive, wait until you see the cost of ignorance, right, Mass?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is key, and this is a policy that Netcom has always invested in training, whether it's on telecom, because we are actually in this middle area. We do a lot of telecommunications, we do a lot of software development. So those are two different skills that we are always
Yeah.
invested in training our team to be able to provide excellent services to our customers.
I just had that conversation with some of the engineers, and I think I mentioned they want to learn more about Connect Master, and we had the conversation. Learning more about all the new things Connect Master can do is excellent, but go and get more information, whether it's programming or telecommunications or networks or anything else. That information, the more valuable our engineers are, the more valuable we are to our customers. So it doesn't necessarily have to be directly for what impacts us immediately. That knowledge keeps their minds up and working and helps us to deliver, especially when we start meeting with the customer and they start bringing up things that now they know. So,
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Mass.
yeah.
So I think that's it. Is our contact information. I'm checking here the Q&A area. I don't see any questions. I hope that's a good sign, Mass. It means we
Yes.
explained it very well.
Hmm.
But anyway, if you have questions anytime, you got our emails here, our phone number. get in contact with us to learn more.
Yes. Thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate you.
I'd like to acknowledge the generosity of Netcon Americas for sponsoring this webinar, and Eduardo Langrafi and Mass Vance for their presentations. And thank you all for attending. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.